Welcome to Conversations with the Unseen. My name is Andy.
And my name is Laura. And in December 2019, we began an amazing and completely unexpected journey, conversing with beings from the unseen world, which has totally transformed our lives.
And here we are, after hundreds and hundreds of hours of conversations, doing what our non-physical friends have been encouraging us to do, sharing their message with others who may be interested.
So let's dive in.
Good day to you.
Hello. Hello. Good day to you.
You feel the energy?
Yes.
Are you willing to step into the unknown?
Yes.
Is it time?
Yes.
Shall we begin?
Good day to you.
Good day to you. So we are a different energy.
Yes, you are.
One that is not completely unfamiliar to you.
Oh,
And yet in this context may feel new, different. How is the human self with this?
Oh, there is much emotion, as there often is, when we connect. And this is a conversation that's a possible podcast. It's following the energy. The human self is included in the co-creation.
So let us speak about stepping into the unknown, as this is the choice that the non-physical self makes when it takes on human form and experiences a physical realm. The non-physical self, the inner being, chooses to step into the unknown because it does not know how the story will play out. And of course, much of the journey from birth to death is the human self trying to work out how to navigate the world of form, how to be with programs that are installed in the human mind that create the personality, the human personality, the preferences, the sensitivities, the desires, and the fears. And beyond the experience, there is the knowing that all is well, that this journey into form is just an experience that it has chosen to have. And much of what the human self fears is what is unknown, which is why there is a tendency for the human mind to try to control what is happening at the level of form, to apply labels, to attempt to make sense of this upside down reality, the experience of separation, the idea that there can be a separate me and a separate you, and a separation from that infinite perspective that the inner being has. You created, as every inner being creates for itself, limitation, which is not your true nature. The limitation of the senses, the physical senses, which are able to trick the mind into experiencing a physical realm, not as it really is. The programs that use this sensory input to create an experience, a unique experience. Every human is creating their experience according to their programs. And of course, linear time, which creates an experience of separation from the past, what happened in the past, who you were in the past, the apparent past, and the future, which seems like it has not happened yet and is there to step into, not quite knowing what will unfold, especially in such turbulent times where it seems like there is much to fear for the human self in what could occur at the level of form. The willingness to step into the unknown is the willingness to allow whatever seems to be happening at the level of form, knowing that it is just an experience and one that you chose to have, and that there is nothing to fear. Beyond this experience, you are infinite and eternal, and therefore there is nothing that can happen to you in this dreamlike experience that can cause you any harm. And what seems like separation from your true nature and separation from apparent others is an illusion, and that you are one with all that is, as are these apparently separate others. And from this perspective, the possibility opens up for transformation of the experience, being human, awakening within the dream of separation. The possibility that you can be still experiencing this physical realm in the full knowledge of your true nature, that you are one with all that is, and that there is nothing to fear.
There is much in what you've shared.
Much that we have spoken about on previous occasions.
Yes, and the contribution that these conversations have had for this human character is moving from believing it is powerless against the programs to realizing that what it really is created the programs, created the experience, and that my true nature is way more powerful than any program is one thing. And that in itself is creating a real shift in the experience, rather than being caught up in the program and at the mercy of the program, just realizing that this is the program, this is the experience, and that what I really am came to have, and this is the game. And coupled with that is an awareness that the programs are there to serve. The programs are there to invite the human self to remember what it really is. And there have been so many occasions recently where the human self is really grateful for what has been unfolding because of the treasure that it has received through that. And there's something about in the moment knowing that this is happening for me, which is so different than this is happening to me.
What you describe is the process of expanding your awareness rather than creating an experience of struggling against these programs. The realization that they are a gift, they are necessary for the journey into form, and that each program does provide an opportunity for awakening. It does invite the human self to experience an aspect of the journey differently, to experience more freedom, a more loving perspective, more alignment with your true nature. So when there is an experience of struggle, when there is what seems to be a fight going on, whether internally, the human self with some aspect of itself, believing there is something wrong, or whether it is the world of form reflecting that back in some way, as the world of form does. The world of form is responding to energy, and each human is experiencing the world of form according to their programs. And therefore, there are many experiences of the world of form. The world of form helps the human self to realize what it is believing. It helps the human self to see what its programs are. Once the human self can be more aware of a program, it can go on the journey of moving beyond that program, giving thanks for the program. The program has brought its gifts, and the human self can move on more aligned with the perspective of its true nature, a more loving and inclusive energy, both within itself, so more peace and more freedom as an internal experience of being human, and of course then finding that the world of form is reflecting that energy rather than the program.
I don't feel this human self realised just how much it was struggling and fighting, and that inherent in that struggle and fighting is a human self that thinks it knows how it should be, and awakening to the idea that everything is always unfolding perfectly for the energy that is being chosen. It's always a perfect expression of the energy. And from that, sitting in the energy of, oh, this is my creation. And I have come to have appreciation for the things that the human self would have said it didn't want and was trying to get rid of. More and more, I'm seeing the neutrality of, oh yeah, that was a perfect expression of the energy. And so looking to the energy, not looking to the form, to choose something else, and opening up to just how malleable the world of form is. And all of this comes from a willingness to step into the unknown. This human self used to think that it had to understand what the energy was. It had to understand how that creation had been made. It had to know what the energy was. And that's just another form of a human self wanting to know. And so now it's just like, okay, this energy created that. Do I wish to continue with that experience? Yes or no? And if it's a no, then it's flown love to the energy that has created what it has created, asking the inner being to show the human self the treasure if there's something for the human self to see, and asking the inner being to show the human self the energy that's beyond that. And there's far less labels in that than there ever has been. So there's far less needing to know within all of that, and trusting that everything that is unfolding is for the highest good. And I'm seeing that more and more, which in itself inspires and encourages the human self to trust what is unfolding, and taking it out the realm of good and bad, want this, don't want this. This means I'm winning, this means I'm losing. No, it's all leading me to my deepest desires. This is the path, and just trusting that. And there's a freedom within all of that this human self has never experienced and feels like it's just beginning to glimpse.
We appreciate your willingness to share this perspective.
Thank you.
Beyond all of the thinking, beyond all of the programs, there is just energy. What you really are is energy. Everything in the universe is energy. The human self is energy. The thoughts, the programs are energy. And so what is being experienced is an energy journey, an energy dance. So there are all of these energies that have different qualities. So an energy of resistance has a different energetic quality from, say, an energy of allowing, an energy of believing that the human self needs to know has a different energetic quality from realizing that not knowing brings greater freedom and allows life to unfold more effortlessly. Life, the journey from birth to death, is occurring naturally. There is nothing the human self needs to do in order to enable that journey to take place. It is happening, and the human self is able to create the experience of that journey, but not in the way that it would believe from a perspective of within the program. So the human perspective would be to attempt to control what is happening at the level of form. It would believe that in order to have the most enjoyable and peaceful journey, the world of form must be a certain way. And the realization comes eventually to the human self that this is impossible. There is so much happening in the world of form that the human self is unable to control. It is like trying to control the weather or the seasons. They just happen naturally, and there is nothing the human self needs to do to make that happen. And there is nothing that it can do to prevent that from happening. And so once the human self realizes that it cannot control the world of form, what is it to do? Well, in some cases, it will look to the energy. It will look for what is causing the world of form to be experienced in the way it is in that moment. For every physical symptom, there is a non-physical cause. And so when you change the direction you are looking in, when you move from focusing entirely on the physical realm and begin looking to the non-physical realm, you discover that there is a completely different way to experience being human. One that is aligned with your non-physical self. One that does not try to control. There is greater harmony with what is occurring on this journey from birth to death. It is not as significant as the human self would make it. There is nothing the human self needs to do to try to be in control, or indeed to try to understand. Perhaps the only thing the human self needs to understand is that it does not understand. There is so much that is beyond human comprehension. But just to relax into the experience of being human, to take on a curiosity, wondering, how will life unfold when aligned more with my true nature, accepting that whatever doesn't unfold is for you rather than against you. And in aligning more with your true nature, your non-physical self, the fear can disappear, the judgment disappears, and there is just a sense of freedom and harmony with all that is.
That realization for me on a visceral level that nothing that the human self was really looking for was in the direction of control and knowing and fighting and struggle, but was about aligning with my true nature, and that there is just energy. What I really am is just energy, and I am playing and interacting with energy. And also that it doesn't matter. That for me has been something that is really changing the experience. I can see that when the human self believes that it's significant and makes it significant, it paralyzes itself. It feels like it can't take any action because there's just program after program after program that comes into play. And that sense of, this is energy, I am energy playing with energy, I'm having a dream, I'm a powerful creator. The world of form has no power, it is meaningless, it is simply a mirror reflecting my energy, creates more freedom and space and possibilities to be able to play in the way that I have so deeply desired for such a long time. Just innocently looking in the wrong direction, believing if I tried harder, it would take me to where I wanted to get to.
And of course, implied in what you're saying, the belief that if the world of form was different, if the world of form was as the human self wished it to be, then it would feel better.
Absolutely.
And all that would create is a dependency on the world of form staying just that way in order for the human self to feel safe and happy. And it may not have escaped your attention that the world of form never stays the same.
And that's not freedom. What I've come to see is that's not freedom. I'm chuckling. What I'm being shown is recently choosing to go to a place that the intention was for it to be a peaceful place, and there was a digger that was digging so loud it felt like it was digging in the same room as me, and the human self was meditating and actually just getting to a space of like, I can choose peace here. This digger can do what it needs to do for as long as it needs to do it, not knowing when it's going to start and stop, but I can choose peace here. The digger isn't the one with the power. I am the one with the power by aligning with what I really am.
And that choice to align with the peace that is your true nature, that sense of oneness, that sense of being aligned, is available in any situation, every situation, whatever seems to be happening, whatever the senses are reporting to the human mind that may cause programs to be triggered. Beyond all of that is the peace of knowing who you really are.
Thank you for showing up. Thank you for making the invitation to step into the unknown. Thank you for creating for this human self a physical experience of that in this conversation. And I just wonder, as we look to close, if there's anything else that you would share with anyone who may be listening.
We appreciate your willingness to step into the unknown, and we appreciate the conversation. We flow love to you. We flow love into this space, this energetic space. We flow love to any who may be listening to this conversation. Until next time.
Until next time. Thank you so much.
Farewell.
You've been listening to Conversations with the Unseen.
If you'd like to know when there's a new conversation available, then remember to subscribe and also to share it with others.
If you'd like to have a written transcript of each conversation, then you'll find this on the website conversationswiththeunseen.com.
And if you have a question you'd like us to ask on your behalf, or if you would like to join the mailing list, then you can also do that on the website conversationswiththeunseen.com.
Until next time.